Hello everyone, Steve Brown here. So I'm going to be going through a quick track guide for Buckmore Park in the glorious Club 100 karts. Okay, I'll try and do a few of these for most of the tracks in the calendar. For all you lovely Club 100 drivers or BUKC drivers, whatever it may be. But yeah, Buckmore Park, Club 100 karts, let's go for a lap at normal speed. I'm up behind Joe Holmes here. So I'm gonna play this lap at full speed, and then we'll do it again and slow some of it down, so I can go into a little bit more detail. So as always, good reference to have Mr. Joe Holmes in front of us there. But this was a pretty decent lap that I managed to find, and hopefully it should help you. So coming down the hill, and then sweeping into Paddock Bend, no, we're not at Brands Hatch, and then Garda at the end of the lap here, crucial corner, very good for overtaking as well, and then down through Senna, the left, and then up towards Cafe Curve, flat out, easy left-hander, and then that rounds out the lap. Okay, so that's one lap. Let's slow it down then. Well, let's slow down certain parts. Now into the first turn. Now there's different entry points here. You see Joe uses the red tarmac. I prefer not to. I don't think it matters too much, but the main thing is apexing at the end of that first curb on the power nice and early. You kind of avoid the second curb because you've powered out early. And then over to the left hand side, and then you're looking for this basically, the end of that rumble strip on the left, and then the change of tarmac as well. And that's pretty much going to be your braking point. Using the red tarmac, but never use it in the rain. Never do that because it's very slippery. Apexing just on the edge of the curb, halfway around the corner pretty much exactly, but you don't really want to go up that curb, just kind of graze the bottom of it, and then I don't quite go out to the curb on the exit, but you can definitely do that. You see how early you turn in to hairpin 2, really early. I'm on the power already pretty much before I've even got to the curb. You're looking for that really late apex, which is about there, 3/4 of the way around, and then because you've got the power nice and early, it's going to give you a good run down the hill, and you also just straddle the line. Look at that, both our left hand wheels are on the exact limit of that corner. So JV will always go on about that. Don't go on fully onto the red, but you can go straddling the white line. So smooth through the S's, down the hill then, crucial section. Apexing really far around this curb on the right. And then this bit here is really important to your lap time. You want to be turning into the left-hander of Pullman's here, pretty much to the right of the central line. Or at least your left wheels need to be quite close to it. So that gives you a really good exit, a really good run in, and therefore a good exit into Paddock. So mid-apex here, you can see just how much curb I'm using. My right rear is just about on the white line, probably, hopefully. There's no proof that it wasn't, I suppose. And then coming through Paddock, again, it's just one of those ones where you want to graze sort of the bottom section of the curb. This curb here, use all of it. Of course, watch out for the bollard. Your back wheels are wider than your front, so do watch out for that. Turning in before the mark on the tarmac, and then the apex for Garda is this very end point, basically, of the curb. So that's what you're looking for, just grazing that. Through Senna, I choose to take pretty much half my kart across the curb. You just want to be touching that. You don't want to be too far away from it. Then through Cafe, it's just a case of just really guiding the kart through. You don't need to take that curb, it just unsettles the kart. There's no point in taking it. Just be as smooth as possible, basically. And then completely abuse that now flat curb on the exit. So that gives you a nice run in across the start-finish line. So we'll go again, another example here, at full speed this time. So over to the left-hand side, make your decision of whether or not to use the entry. Tarmac, the red tarmac. Very early on the power, over to the left hand side, using the red tarmac there. On the power early once again, over to the left hand side, a bit earlier this time and a bit wide on the exit. Turning in really early on the power early. Apexing late and then straddling the white line on the exit. Nice and smooth through the S's, just minimal input basically through here. And then over to the left hand side, turning quite late, apex late, over to the right hand side of that line. And then powering across the curb. And then through Paddock as well, using the exit curb. Into Garda, apexing nice and late, getting on the power early, and that gives you a good run up the straight at the end of the lap. And then through Cafe, nice and smooth, job done. Okay, crossing the line then. We're going to go once more, why not? Apexing nice and early, that's the crucial thing here. Getting on the power early I think is one of the main things in Club 100 karts. So you want to take the right line, of course, and then get on the power as early as possible. So you kind of half apply it and then fully apply it over the course of maybe half a second, quite early in the corner, and that gets you out of the turn. You'll notice if you're behind a really fast guy, it's just that sort of 10-20 metres out the exit of a corner, they get away from you because they got on the power slightly earlier on the way into the turn. That's really what the difference is a lot of the time. So into Garda, and then down through Senna. So a couple of nice uninterrupted laps here, through Cafe, and then there we go. Okay, a couple of laps for you there. And we're going to move to some overtaking examples. So my favourite corner to overtake around Buckmore Park is Garda. So this is Paddock, and then coming up towards Garda here. So you set them up through through Paddock, and then you go for the move into Garda. Space opens up, you dive into it, and another example of that here. So set them up, coming through Paddock, nice and close behind, right on the bumper. I know I can go for this move, boom, on the inside, just go for it. Can be tricky if there's another car ahead of the person you're overtaking, so obviously be careful of that. But another example of that here. So I've already got the overlap slightly going in, so that made it a lot easier going for that move in particular. Another couple of examples. This one is a hairpin 1 example. I don't normally go for moves to hairpin 1, it's not normally the best place. I think hairpin 2 is the better place to do it. But if the space opens up, sometimes you can just go for it. The problem with overtaking at Paddock and at hairpin 1 is that the next corner after it is a good overtaking opportunity, so you normally have to defend the next corner, so you lose a bit of time doing that. So it's normally best to go for moves hairpin 2 or at Paddock, or at Garda, those two corners, hairpin 2 and Garda. So here, decide not to go for it, but then it's really about just hooking up to the back of the cart ahead through hairpin 1. If you want to go for a move at hairpin 2, you really latch on to the back of the cart ahead through hairpin 1, and then keep the momentum up, and then the space opens up if they move over to the right hand side, and then boom, go for it. Not the best move actually, it looks like I was on cold tyres here, but you see an example. That's how you get the job done at hairpin 2. And then another overtaking opportunity is Paddock. Just go full send here, late on the brakes, and then just really turn in aggressively towards the apex. The other overtaking opportunity, I suppose, is turn 1. But that is really just a case of, have you got the momentum, have you got the run to go past them, to get alongside, and also is your kart good in a straight line? If you have got a good kart in a straight line, then make the most of it. Another couple of examples here of using the kart ahead as sort of a battering ram to get through. You see Bobby Trunley here opens up the space, and I just follow him through into that space. So a lot of the time, if you're behind someone and they go for a move, you can use their move as a move for yourself. So another good example of that here. He's going to go for the move. I'm going to stay to the left-hand side of the racing line and then just thrust myself into that gap, as weird as that sounds, and follow him through. You can do that quite easily a lot of the time, and you just basically do no work but get overtakes done. So the person here can do some moves, and you can feed off of that. Okay, so some wet weather driving now. Now this is a very tricky circuit in the rain, but then again, what track isn't, because you're on slick tyres? So go really deep through turn 1, and you're cutting back for that straight exit. That's basically the theme. You can see here, into hairpin 1, go deep, pivot, cut back for a straighter exit. Avoid the left hand side here, you don't want to do that, it's really slippery over there. Go deep, cut back, pivot. Joe actually gets a really good exit here. Look at that, look at the gap he gets. He gained like 5 kart lengths or 3 or 4 kart lengths just from getting a really good pivot mid-turn and then straightening himself up through hairpin 2. So here, down the hill, there's really multiple ways to take it, and I'm not quite sure which is the quickest way. I think that line there is actually quite good, but if there's someone behind you, they will probably go past you. So that's the main thing in the rain, I think. You do want to take, obviously take the right line, but sometimes by going too deep, sometimes people can just nip up the inside. They'll take that as an invitation just to go up the inside, but this is typically the quickest way. So hopefully you can just take this line, and hopefully the person behind you doesn't go full send on you. But yeah, that's a very quick summary of Buckmore Park. Didn't go into too much detail, I suppose, as I don't want to give all my competitors all the edge, So the only disclaimer, I suppose, is that you can't use any of this against me on the track. That's my only stipulation about watching this video. That is a joke, of course, but I'm sort of half serious at the same time. But there we go. Thank you for watching. If you do have any further questions, I will try to get back to you. Make sure you just leave a comment. I'll see what I can do about giving you an answer. I'll also try and get some more track guides out for this season. I do have plenty of footage from 2018 and 2019 which I can use, and also we'll be recording plenty more in 2020. So do let me know your requests as well. But I mean, the big tracks, you know, like Walton Mill, Wright House, I'll probably almost certainly have track guides for those coming at some point. But there we go. Thank you for watching. Do let me know your thoughts and subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. And yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck in your racing at Buckmore Park.